Pixie here, bringing you another World of Warcraft TSM guide. In this guide, we're going to talk about operations. Now, operations can be as simple or advanced as you want them to be, but since this is a TSM beginner guide, I'm going to keep this as simple and easy as possible for you guys to understand. If you want more complex information about operations, you can always check out the TSM database website or check out some other tubers such as Xionik and Sheyrah. I know Sheyrah has some very in-depth TSM guides. And you can even probably ask some streamers like Dozerbob. And I'll link their information in the description below if you guys want to check them out. They know a lot more about TSM than I do, but I'm just trying to keep it simple for you guys because that's how I like to keep my options simple and easy. So let's break it down. You guys should already know how to make groups from the last video, so we're just going to pull up TSM and we are going to look at our groups. I am going to use Goblin Gliders in this example, but you can use anything that you want, any group that you want, and everything should apply just the same. So I am going to click on my Goblin Gliders, and I'm going to click on the Operations tab. And what I am going to do, and you can create multiple operations if you would like, but I'm just going to create one operation to show you guys how that works. Operation name, we're going to name our operation Goblin Gliders, and hit OK. Yes, I want to add the Goblin Glider operation to the Goblin Glider group. Alright, so general, I'm going to go over this stuff really quickly because I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible and try not to overload you with too much information. Basically, match stack size, you can blacklist players, so if you don't want if you want TSM to ignore any players that are posting things outrageously low or always undercutting, you can blacklist them and ignore those players. If you want to ignore pricing for auctions that are very low duration, so let's say there's something that's about to expire and it's going for super cheap, you can ignore that price and post at, whatever normal price that you normally sell for. Cancels, I'll get into that in a different video. I'll talk about cancel scans and I'll talk about reset scans. The basic thing that we want to look at here is going to be the post tab. So very basic, how long you want something to post for. So my Goblin Gliders, I only want to post them up every 12 hours. Stack size, so Goblin Gliders I post in stacks of 5, but if you have cloth, so say you have cloth, you want to sell it in stacks of 200, you can change it to stacks of 200. If you want to sell it in stacks of 20, so I find I sell Goblin Gliders best in stacks of 5, but you can sell them in 10s, 20s, however many you want to sell your item for, however many you want in a stack. Now post cap is how many you want to post at a single time. I only like to post 20 Goblin Gliders at a time. That way I'm not flooding my market, but I am putting quite a few bit up there. Yeah. If you want to post 100 stacks or, however many stacks of that item that you want to post, you can put here. If you don't want there to be a cap, basically you just want to dump everything that you have, just set that to 0 and you'll be good to go. If you want to allow partial stacks, so if I don't have enough and there's stuff left over, then this will post whatever I have left in partial stacks. Keep quantity, basically if you want to keep anything, you would put that here. Like if you have an item you want to keep one of, you can keep that there. Max expires, so I have mine set to 0 because no matter how many times my Goblin Gliders expire, I want to keep posting them up there. But say you have something like Transmog and after 5 or 10 times it doesn't sell, you can actually set it to where, for example, we'll set it to 5, so after it expires 5 times, it'll no longer list that item with the group, and that might be a good indication that that item just doesn't sell and you might want to disenchant or vendor it. So all of that should be pretty simple to understand. Now this is where it kind of gets a little difficult, but I'm just going to break it down and keep it easy for you guys. So bid percent, I like to keep mine at 95%, just in case somebody has their bid percent really low for some crazy reason. Undercut, I only want to undercut by a copper. If you want to undercut by a silver, whatever you want to undercut by, this is your undercut amount. 1 copper will put your auction right on top. People that are buying stuff aren't going to care if it's something that sells a lot of, so there's no reason to undercut by tons and tons of gold. You just ruin your market that way. So minimum, maximum, and normal price. So you can set your items for flat gold amount. So if you know that goblin gliders sell for 20 gold, okay? Just throwing this out there as an example. You can set your normal price to be 20 gold because that's what they normally sell for. Then you can make a maximum price. So if there aren't any on your auction house or somebody has it listed for like some crazy price, what is the maximum price that you want to post it for? So let's say there are none on the auction house. Maybe I want to post my goblin gliders for 50 gold because they're the only ones up there. I can set that to 50 gold. And minimum price, so let's say, you know, it costs me this amount to craft it. I don't want to sell it for any less than like 10 gold. I can set it for 10 gold. But realistically, you don't want to use a fixed gold amount because you have no idea what your items are going to sell for. But that's the beauty of TSM. TSM knows what your prices sell for. So if you actually click inside the pricing box, you can see this box over here, and basically it'll tell you some things that you can look at. It'll throw you out some examples. You can get really you can create like these formulas, and you can get really advanced with it. I'm not about that life. I use DB market value for everything. So you might be wondering, and I probably said this a bit, what is DB market value? I talked about it a little bit in my quick post video, but DB market value is what the item goes for on your auction house on average. So it creates, TSM has a formula that they come up with that gives you a good base pricing for any item that is left on the auction house. It's the item that you normally see in your tooltips, and most of that is based off of DB market value. So that's just stuff that's going on in your auction house on your market. Since I have a very saturated market, that's what I use. If you are on a lower pop server that doesn't have an average value, people aren't selling things, you're the only one selling things, you might want to use like the region market value, which is what the average of across all North American servers are going for. You might want to use that. But just for this video and for keeping it simple, I'm just going to use DB market value. So our minimum price, our normal price, right? Our normal price is going to be 100% DB market value. So we want to keep it at 100% DB market value. So if somebody's selling something for the average market value, it's just going to undercut them by 1 copper. Our minimum price, we don't want to sell anything lower than. So you can set your whatever price you want it to be. If you want it to be as low as 50%, if you want it to be as low or as high as like 90% or something like that. On average, 75 to 80% is good to put this at your minimum price. So if something is going for 100 gold, it'll post it up for 75 gold, and that'll be like the lowest that it'll undercut. Maximum price, you can get as crazy as this as you want. A good starting value would be 125% of DB market. So it'll post it at 125% of the market value. And then, so this is our pricing bracket. So we don't want it, our normal price is auction house price. What we see in the tooltips, what's on the auction house right now. This will post it for 125% more. And this will say that, you know, we don't want to post anything less than this price. So 75% of the market value. Okay? So what happens when something is below the minimum price? So what happens when something is below this price right here? You can ignore it. You can not post the items. You can post it at whatever your minimum price is, or you can post it at your normal, whatever you want TSM to do when something is below like the average price. So when something is below the average price, I don't want to post the item at all. I'm just going to hit don't post the item because I'd rather not waste the gold. And then what happens when something is at the maximum price? So if something is at a really high price, what do you want it to do? I'm going to post mine at normal price because that's what I want TSM to do. Now, if you're in a market like the jewel crafting market, for instance, your maximum price, so let's say that nobody has any gems on the auction house, and you can, when something is not posted and you want to post it at maximum price, you can set this to post at maximum. So if nobody has anything on there, it's going to post it at your maximum, whatever your maximum price is, which is really good for like jewel crafting. I find if there are no gems on the market, it's going to post them at crazy high prices. So TSM is going to just basically do all the hard work for you. So when something's above the maximum price, I'm just going to post mine at whatever the normal average price is. And that's for my goblin gliders. So we're going to okay. And done. Now you can use this setup for pretty much anything and it'll work. You can use it for cloth, transmog, whatever you want to use it for, because it's percentage based off of your auction house market. So you're safe with using this if you want to use this to start with. Now you can look at, like I said, you can look at some of the other videos, or you can read more about custom price sourcing through the TSM website, and to find a little bit more about the different types of price sources, because there are tons of them. Like I can show you, if I hit if you slash TSM sources in your chat window, it's gonna pull up all of these price sources, right? And you can do, there's actually a lot more than just this, because there's, oh wait, no, there's vendor buy, vendor sell. You can create 5 times the vendor sell price plus the average sell price. Like you can make like these complex mathematical equations to get your pricing, but we're just going to keep it simple and use our average market value, the DB market value. So now that you have that, how do you actually use your group to post? So that's easy. We just talk to our auction guy, go to our auctioning tab. We're going to click on Goblin Gliders because that's the one we want. If you have multiple groups, you can click on all of your groups, but I just want to focus on Goblin Gliders. You're going to hit Start Post Scan. So this is basically going to scan the auction house right now, and it's going to show you all the prices. This guy is selling it for this price, and so this is the average price this guy's selling it for. And we're just going to post all of ours up, and basically it's just going to undercut that guy's price. Now I'm going to post all of them. You can see it's posting in stacks of 5, and I'm just going to post them all up there. So now our Goblin Gliders are nice and on the auction house. So we are going to, just to show you guys, I'm going to go up here, look for Goblin Gliders, and you can see ours is the cheapest on the auction house right now. We have a good bit of them up there. Yeah, so that's basically it. How to set up TSM, how to use groups, and how to apply operations to your groups. Very simple, like I said. I just wanted to keep it nice and easy for you guys, trying to keep this video as short as possible. If you guys have any questions, or you can leave them in the comment box below. If you found this video helpful, please leave it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy posting.